You know, one thing about this YouTube journey that I'm very thankful for is that it really gave me an opportunity to get my hands on certain firearms that I probably never would have ever been able to get my hands on previously. Things that you don't really see in most of your average gun shops. Like, for example, the Lago Arms Alien. I did a review on the Lago Arms Alien probably about a couple years ago now. It should be on the channel somewhere, but had I not been involved in this space, I would have never got a chance to see that gun and shoot it and really vet it out the way that I did. And today is no different. So today on Armchair Operator Guns and Gears Reviews, we're going to take a look at, it's going to be another 2011, it's a special 2011, but this time we are going to look at the H-Duty by Phoenix Trinity. Let's get into this thing. What's going on, y'all? It's your big homie, the Armchair Operator, and welcome to today's video. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you enjoyed today's content, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Become a part of the family. We would love to have you. And if you're coming back to my channel, thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you also enjoy today's content. So as I said in my intro, today we're taking a look at the H-Duty by Phoenix Trinity. And just to sum it up really quickly, this is a full-size double-stack 1911/2011 chambered in 9mm. And this is Phoenix Trinity's more duty-oriented style firearm. To be perfectly honest, I've never even heard of the H-Duty prior to getting a call from my guy Frank Bank. More on that in a minute. And I've heard of, we all heard of the H-Tac, and we've heard of the Honcho V2, and so on and so forth. But the H-Duty was kind of new, kind of unknown. And strangely enough, I don't really see a whole lot of videos on the internet about the H-Duty. So the good thing about that is we get to talk about the H-Duty right now. But before we get into all that, first, a couple housekeeping items. This video is for informational purposes only. I'm not offering for sale any firearms or accessories on this channel. This channel is not what that's not what this channel is about. This is just me sharing information about different things that I come across in the firearms world. That's it. That's all it is. Second bit of housekeeping, I got to give a big shout out to the team over there at the Bunker Gun Shop. My guys, Chris and Frank Bank, Big Frank, we appreciate you for this. They actually provided the firearm for this review. Now, with that, so this is one of those things that kind of came into their shop. This is a used firearm, by the way. Let me just preface that by saying that this firearm is used. It came into their shop, I would imagine, via a trade-in or something. Maybe somebody just needed to trade it in to do some other things in their personal life, or maybe they were getting something else. I don't know. But this is a used firearm, and the thing is, you don't see a lot of firearms of the caliber of a Phoenix Trinity pop up on the used market. So when you get an opportunity to take a look at something like this, or even more so get your hands on something like this, it's really hard to pass up. So that's kind of the thing that I just wanted to just put out there right now. They not only sell new higher end 2011s, they also have used higher end 2011s. And I recently just saw a Staccato XC pop up on the used market. Don't know if it's still available as of the recording of this video. Things go fast. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. Big shouts out to you all for always supporting the channel and for giving me an opportunity to take a look at this firearm right here. So back to the Phoenix Trinity H-Duty. So I have heard about Phoenix Trinity. Of course, it's kind of hard not to hear about Phoenix Trinity's getting to the 2011 space. They've been around for a long time. They were a parts manufacturer for a lot of your other big 2011 double custom 1911 firearms manufacturers, but then they decided to start building their own. Now, this H-Duty, to me, originally I was thinking it was kind of like maybe the Staccato P of their line, but that really wouldn't be an accurate description of what the H-Duty really is. And well, first of all, the frame, the fitment and the quality of this firearm is much better than that of a Staccato P. Don't get me wrong, I love the Staccato P. I had a Staccato P for a couple of years. I love staccato, don't get it twisted. But this is definitely on a different level. Not just in terms of price point, but in terms of fit, finish, function, and everything like that. So I just want to talk about all those things really quickly. We're going to go over to the tabletop and really get into the specs and features. And then I'm going to give you my initial impressions as far as how it handles on the range. This is really just an initial impressions video, but you get the idea. I got to put some more rounds through this guy. I'm actually looking forward to putting some more rounds through this, and I'm going to be putting some way more rounds through this particular gun. But anyway, let's head on over to the tabletop so that way I can show you what this particular firearm comes with, and let's just go over the specs and features and just talk about a couple little things here and there about the H-Duty. All right, let's head on over to the tabletop. All right, y'all, here we are with the H-Duty in the review space, but you know, first things first, y'all know how I like to do. We got the verified clear. All right, so boom. I don't know if you can see that, but that chamber is empty. There's no magazine in the firearm. Safe direction, boom, and we are filming in a safe and controlled environment. There is no live ammunition anywhere in the review space. All right, so here we are, boom, H-Duty time. Now, the Holosun, like I said before, this firearm is used, and I'm pretty sure that my Eagle Eye viewers can tell that this firearm is used. So it came with this Holosun 507 comp mounted on the firearm already, but let's go through the specs and the features of this thing, and we're going to start at the top with the sights. So like I said, you got the Holosun 507 comp. I did a review on this type of red dot already, so you can check out that review if you want more information on the 507 comp. And of course it has a plate for, well, the optics plate is for the Trinity footprint, obviously. One of the things that I noticed, and I've been seeing a number of manufacturers do this, is mounting the rear iron sights forward of the optic. Now there are advantages to that. First of all, it pushes this great big old dot back further from the ejection port. The advantage is it'll actually help it to not, one, get a bunch of blowback and stuff like that onto the glass itself, dirtying the optic, and two, the brass doesn't hit the optic itself, causing a malfunction. Sometimes with the SRO or red dots of this size on certain other firearms, that is a possibility. I have seen it happen on, like, for example, the Staccato XC. It hasn't happened on mine, but it's not to say that it can't happen. So there are advantages of having this mounted there towards the end of the slide. Which is kind of interesting is that I initially used to think that this was kind of ugly and I didn't like it. Like, it's just as far as that particular setup alone, not on this particular firearm, but that setup. But on this, it actually looks really good. Now, one thing you'll notice, like with the front sight, so you have a front fiber optic, a rear fiber optic. These sights are not very tall. These are basic standard height sights. But look at the cut here. You see how they did this? This cut sits low enough onto the slide itself, so you could use standard height sights and still actually get a bit of a co-witness with your red dot. Not sure if that comes up very well on camera, but you kind of get the idea, so on and so forth. Yeah. All right, that's better. You kind of get the idea. You see where I'm going with that. So you get a nice lower 1/3 co-witness, and with a large window like the 507 comp, it really gives you an excellent sight picture. I think the combination of the 507 comp and this sighting setup with this gun was spot on. Moving on from there, we got our front slide serrations here. First of all, listen to this. Listen to that. Ugh. You see that? Wait a minute, you can't see it. Like my boy would say, mantequilla, man. All the mantequillas in this slide, man. It's effortless. I love that. Another thing you'll notice is the fact that we have a sight block up here. So most people are familiar with the H-Tac by Phoenix Trinity, which looks very similar to this, just with some different cuts in the slide as far as the serrations goes. I think you have like a little window up here in the front, and just a different design on the slide itself. But on the H-Tack, you have these little ports up here on the sight block assembly. So for all intents and purposes, that's basically like their staccato XC, you know what I mean, like a compensator up front. This particular model doesn't have that, but it also has the advantage of having the extra weight out front while also having less reciprocating mass back because it has a shorter slide. Now, it really has a 4.7-inch bull barrel, as you can see, the barrel right there, bull barrel, right? And the shorter slide. The advantage there, like I said, the extra weight in the front helps to keep this firearm flat shooting while also giving it the advantage of having a slightly quicker cyclic rate. I hope I'm saying that right, because it has a shorter slide. The point is, it's an outstanding shooting firearm. More on that in a few minutes. We got ourselves a Picatinny rail up underneath. We got 3 slots here. These slots are actually a little bit smaller than your standard M1913 rail sections. I found that out the hard way. They're kind of closer to more of the Glock Universal Light rail, but you do have your accessory rail here. Full length dust cover. I absolutely love full length dust cover 1911 2011s. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't stress that enough. The coating is basically a black DLC hard coat anodized coating. I do love a DLC coating. The finish is very smooth quality. Now, one thing Phoenix Trinity firearms have been known in the past is, unfortunately, their coatings and their finishes weren't the greatest on some of their guns. This particular firearm is kind of hard to say because, like I said, this firearm is not new. This firearm looks like it's been shot a good bit, but I don't know how many rounds have been put through this gun, but a lot of the wear that I am seeing just shows that this firearm has been used, which is pretty normal. Prime example right here on top of on the barrel right here. You see right here. Just an example. You got a little bit of holster wear up in the front on this side here and a little bit here. This is normal wear now. Just to be clear, and a little bit of wear here on the frame rails. This is normal wear. This is nothing crazy whatsoever. It gives it a little bit of character, in my opinion. Please excuse this brief interruption in the tabletop, but I just wanted to show you the H-Duty field stripped just prior to my taking it to the range. So just a full disclosure, as of the recording of this part of the video, I have not shot the pistol yet. And I just wanted to take a look at the wear patterns on the frame rails as well as on the underside of the slide. And plus I just wanted to give everything a nice thorough cleaning because we've got this linkless barrel system. And for those of you who don't know, when you have a linkless barrel system, it is absolutely imperative that that section is cleaned and lubricated after each range use. All right, so let's take a look at this pistol. Now, I don't know how many rounds is on the pistol as of yet. I don't know how many rounds the previous owner has put through it. I personally have not put any rounds through this as of the recording of this part of the video. But let's just see right here. As you can see, it's pretty dirty for the most part. A little bit of wear on the underside. And this frame, well, this gun has a black DLC coating, which is a very strong coating. And as you can see right here, I know some of the earlier Phoenix Trinities, such as the H-Tacks and the H-Pros, had a little bit of issues with the premature wear of the high contact surfaces. And you still see wear on the high contact surfaces, but it doesn't look like some of the others that I've seen. But again, as a disclaimer, I don't know how many rounds have been put through this bad boy right here. So, a little dirty. You see a little bit of wear on the underside of the slide right there. I see some swirling marks there under the light. So my guess is that this pistol has been shot a fair bit. And let's just take a look at the barrel here. Okay, that's an indicator right there. It's been shot a fair bit. And with the shape of these Phoenix Trinity barrels, you get like high contact friction points here and over here, as well as on the side here, right there, right here where the linkless barrel is set up, and so on and so forth. So, but anyway, this is what we're looking like from a wear perspective. This is the reverse plug, and this is the guide rod and recoil spray, 7-pound recoil spray. So anyway, that's it for this part. I'm going to get this particular piece cleaned up nice and thoroughly prior to the first shots of this bad boy. And with that, we're going to cut right back over to the tabletop. Moving on from there, we have ambidextrous safeties. Now, here's the thing about these safeties that I find interesting. I don't know if these safeties are stock or if they were added aftermarket, but look how wide those safeties are. Not sure if you can see that, but the safety on the left hand side is oversized and it's really big, right? And then we have a wider safety on the right side of the firearm. So the advantage is here is when you get on that safety, because this safety is so wide, it makes it a lot easier to flip that guy off when you pause, when you're drawing from the holster, right? So you can just get on it, boom, and then you're good to go. Now, one of the things that I had to do, I had to make sure that I was really riding that safety while I was firing the gun. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the shooting portion, but I do like the fact that it does have this slightly more oversized safety on this side to really get a good solid purchase on the gun. Again, I don't know if that was stock or aftermarket. From the pictures that I saw on the website, the ambi safeties were shielded and they weren't quite as wide. So maybe this is just maybe an older SKU that they made, or maybe that was added later on. Who knows? Anyway, we got a rounded hammer. This is a lightened hammer, as you can see, with the little cutouts in the middle. And I'm not sure of the spring weight of this particular firearm as far as the hammer spring. I would imagine it's a 17-pound spring because it feels very lightweight. Also, the recoil spring in the firearm is a 7-pound recoil spring, which is actually a pound lighter than my Staccato XC, and I can tell the difference when I rack the slide. Like I said, boy, that Monte Kia, whew, it's no joke. Moving on from there, let's talk about the trigger. So we have a flat face aluminum trigger. Now, this trigger out of the box when new is about 2.5 pounds according to their website. But since this particular firearm is worn in, let me get out my digital trigger gauge and let's see what we're working with. All right, hold on. Let me see if I, oh wait, got to turn it back on. And then went to sleep on me. All right, let's do it. Whew. All right, y'all see that? 2.9 pounds. All right, let's try again. All right, let's do it again. 2.89 pounds. We're going to do it one more time. £2.105. So you're basically breaking at in the 2-pound range. So excellent trigger, to be sure. Now, it has an aluminum frame. Of course, we also have this nice aggressive skateboard tape type texture. And, you know, as you can see, it's starting to show its age a little bit. But this is an aluminum frame, a steel frame, aluminum grip, and it's very solid, very well balanced. And it does have some weight to it. So let's get a good weight, if we can get a good weight measurement. All right, okay, let's see what we're talking about here. So unloaded, we're looking at 34.11 ounces with the optic mounted on the firearm and no magazine in the gun. So with a fully loaded 20-round magazine, you're looking at probably north of 45 ounces, somewhere in that ballpark. Speaking of magazines, this particular firearm came with this case. Okay. Pretty sure that that's not stock. I think it comes with a Phoenix Trinity case normally. But we have our instruction manual here, which I'm not even going to bother opening, but you can see you got the wax seal. Okay, what else we got? And it actually comes with 4 magazines. Now, I believe stock, this comes with 2 19-round magazines. This particular firearm came with 4 magazines, I believe. I'm not sure if this is a Phoenix or this is an Atlas magazine. So it comes with 4 Atlas magazines. Capacity is probably around the 17-round mark. So, I mean, hey, a used firearm with 4 magazines, you can't beat that. But I got plenty of higher capacity magazines laying around. So trust and believe, I got the magazines to support this firearm with no problem. And you know, it takes 2011 double stack 1911 2011 magazines, so they're easy to source. They're not cheap, but they're easy to source. But I mean, oh, and one other thing that I really like, the grip safety is pinned. Now again, I don't know if that was something that was added from the factory or if it was done later on, but I absolutely love the fact that this grip safety is pinned, so I could just get on the safeties when I draw it from the holster and I can go to work. I'm just going to say this right now, this is an excellent limited optics gun. And I've actually ran this in a recent classifier in limited optics, and this thing is absolutely phenomenal. That's interesting. And let's see, I think that was due to the follower. This follower does look a little ate up, but hey, it still works. I haven't had any issues. It doesn't do that with any other magazine. See, boom, see, good to go. All right, and you got your standard magazine release here. It's aluminum, and you have your tack mag weld. So all in all, that's basically it as far as the main tabletop. Let's talk about how this thing handles on the range. Welcome to the first shots of the Phoenix Trinity H Duty. Target is at 10 yards. Let's get a little warmed up and see how she runs. We're gonna load and make ready. No times or anything like that. We just getting a feel for. Oh my Jesus. That recoil impulse is, oh my God, it's beautiful for a non-comp gun. Oh, this is gonna be a good time for sure. All right, let's go again. Again, no time limit. We just getting a feel for it. Well, that was nice, except my light fell off. Let's check the target real quick. As you can see, on the money for the most part at 10 yards, a little low. But hey, this thing, so far, Mantequilla, boy. Mantequilla. Now that I got the light back on, let's run that back for real. We're gonna load and make ready. No time limit. We just getting a feel for it. This time I pick up the cadence of fire, pick up those shot groups just a little bit. One thing I will say that I really like it, between the sandpaper texture on the grip, those wider safeties, and that front sight block, bringing that muzzle back down on target is quick. It's not snappy at all. Like, it's just something about it. So that linkless barrel system, I can tell the difference between that and the Prodigy. Like the Prodigy, it kind of climbs a little bit if you run it too fast. It's a little bit punchier and a little sluggish compared to the H Duty. That plus the Prodigy is a full 5-inch slide, whereas the H Duty has, I think, a 4.4-inch slide because it got that slight block on the front. Means that this H Duty, even though it's like the same 5-inch length, non-compensated, is going to run faster because it has less mass moving back and forth. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's reload and go again. Now, we're going to finish this magazine, drop, reload, and fire 5 more shots on target. Then we're going to check the target. Again, no time limit, at least for right now. So far, I'm liking this thing, just so you're aware. If you can't really tell already, yeah, I'm feeling this damn H Duty. Ah, shit.
Also, the reload, do that up in the bicep.
Well, apparently, this H-Duty is not liking my Surefire. But anyway, let's check the target. All right, so this is where we're hitting at, 10 yards. Pretty easy. This thing is smooth. So, and I see what my guy, Mr. Blacksmith from Team Blacksmith, shout out to you, my guy, when he was talking about that linkless barrel system. It is hard to describe, but it's something that you definitely have to feel. But once you run it, you will notice the difference if you're used to running traditional linked style 2011s. But I think so far, it's a good limited optics gun. But I'm gonna put a different light on there because apparently it doesn't like the Surefire X300B. So let me put my A model up on there. We're gonna change the target and then we're gonna reset. This time we're gonna do some time drills. So we ran into some technical difficulties, not with the gun itself. It just kept yeeting my damn Surefire downrange, and we can't have that. So I'm going to take it off, and I can't seem to get my Surefire X300A model seated properly on the rail. So we're just going to have to run without the light, which means no holster draw, unfortunately, since I'm running my Tier 1 concealed universal holster. So everything is just going to be from low ready on target. So let's keep getting a good feel for the gun. Starting from low ready. Not bad. Check the target. And of course, we can't get away from them damn mics. Nothing personal to anybody named Mike. But in the USPSA world, mics are no bueno. Anyway, pretty good. Still getting the hang of it. That 2-pound trigger is noticeable, although I keep getting hung up on it. I think it's all me, to be honest with you. But phenomenal shooting gun, man. But now that we've covered that, let's head on back to the review. Now, like I said, the H-Duty is a phenomenally shooting firearm, in my humble opinion. There are a few reasons to this. Like I said in my tabletop, the sight block barrels design right here, along with this full-length dust cover and this shortened slide, is a big part of that. So I didn't quite show this in the tabletop. It's a little bit juicy. You got to keep this thing lube. Make sure y'all keep y'all 2011s lube. Now these aren't Glocks, okay? You got to treat and handle these a little bit differently. But anyway, this is all one piece. You see? This is all one piece, much like the Staccato XC. Speaking of which, I have a Staccato XC right here. All right, it's empty. It's empty. Safe direction. Got it. All right. So you see the XC. Now, most people are familiar with the XC, where they machine the barrel and the compensator out of a solid piece of steel, right? It's the same idea here with the Phoenix Trinity. There are advantages to that. And like I said, you get to lengthen the slide while putting extra weight out front, and it helps the gun stay flat. And with less reciprocating mass going back and forth, you have less of this in your hand. So this gun actually, I think this gun, even though it's not ported or compensated, can keep up with some comped and ported guns, in my personal opinion. But we're going to put that to the test down the road. Like, that's another video for another day. But I just wanted to illustrate one of the reasons why I think this is an excellent shooter. Now, like I said, I ran this particular firearm. I ran it on the range, just trying to get a feel for it, putting some rounds on target, just to get a see of how it really feels. I didn't really expect the recoil impulse to be what it is. It's kind of difficult to articulate that in the video. Now, with the linkless barrel system, like the lockup between the barrel and the slide is just a little bit different. I'm not an engineer, y'all, so I'm not going to pretend like I'm not an engineer. But just suffice it to say that linkless barrel system makes this whole process feel noticeably different than a standard Link 2011 barrel. All in all, I think this is an excellent firearm. I think that this will make for a great limited optics gun. It'll make for a good duty gun. But me personally, I wouldn't want to carry something expensive like this as a duty gun. But again, it would perform very well in that role. But see, y'all know me. Y'all know I pretty much focus more so on budget firearms for the most part. Oh, your boy ain't got it like that.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
But every once in a while, I get to bring you something like this, something like the Phoenix Trinities, man. And brand new, these things without the optic is like just south of 5,000 credits. I think about 4,800. We can't say exact prices on YouTube, right? So, but used, this particular one is about 38 with the dot. So, I mean, I don't know. Y'all tell me, is the Phoenix Trinity H Duty a cop or a drop? Let me know down in the comments, y'all. I'm always looking for like another limited optics gun or just a fire type of gun in and of itself. So y'all tell me, is this a cop or a drop? I'd love to hear your opinions. So anyway, with that, I'm going to end it there. What's your experiences with Phoenix Trinity firearms? Also, let me know down in the comment sections. Let's get this discussion popping. Actually, I'm thinking about doing a versus video between that and my current limited optics gun, the Springfield Prodigy. Can an upgraded Springfield Prodigy stop with a Phoenix Trinity H Duty? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Sound off in the comments. Do y'all want to see a versus video with these two particular guns or a comparison video? Would you like to see a versus video between these two bougie-ish style firearms? You got the XC and the H Duty. Let me know. I want to hear from you. But anyway, y'all, I want to end it there. I definitely appreciate you all for taking the time to watch this video. This is your big homie, the Armchair Operator. I'm signing out, man. Peace.